theme. Okay, so today we're talking about theme. So, does anyone know what theme is? Yes. Okay, good. A lesson that the author wants you to know. Okay, so it's a life lesson. Now, does that lesson only work for what's going on in the story, or can you apply it to your own life?
Apply it to your own life.
Good. You should be able to apply it to your own life. So let's practice with this. It says, in his sophomore year of high school, Michael Jordan tried out for the varsity basketball team at Laney High School in Wilmington, North Carolina. But at 5 feet and 11 inches tall, the coach believed Jordan was too short to play at that level. So Jordan was cut from the team. Jordan didn't let his obstacle defeat him. In fact, it pushed him to work even harder. He trained vigorously and grew another 4 inches the following summer. When he finally made the varsity squad, Jordan averaged 25 points a game and went on to become one of the greatest basketball players in history. Okay, so just from this little short reading, what life lesson should we be taking from this? Okay, you can say never give up. Okay, because if Michael Jordan would have given up that year that he got cut, if he would have never played, tried out the next year, he would have never what? What? Become famous. He would have never made it to the, to play college, would never made it to the NBA and make millions of dollars selling shoes, right? Okay, so he never gave up. Okay, so to be persistent. The coach that cut him. Okay, so stories can have multiple themes. It just doesn't have to be one thing. What can we take from the coach? Okay, it says the coach believed he was too short to play, so Jordan was cut. Okay, now he wasn't necessarily cut from the whole team, he was just cut from the varsity team. Okay, so did the coach never let him come back and play on the varsity team? No, he gave him another chance. Okay, he saw that Jordan worked hard, okay, and he gave him another chance. So you could also say a possible thing would, give people second chances. Just because he wasn't good this year doesn't mean he's not going to be good next year, okay, after he practices a little bit. Okay, so we're going to read a short excerpt from this book, Odd Man Out. So this is one of my favorite books. It's by Matt McCarthy, and it's about, how many of you have been to a Tin Caps game? The baseball team, Tin Caps game? Okay. It's about a young man who plays for a team like that, and he's trying to make it to the major leagues. Okay, so the major league teams own, those minor league teams, like the Tin Caps. Okay, so I know we're owned by the Padres, the San Diego Padres, the Tin Caps are. So he's playing for one of those teams, and he's trying to make it to that next level, to the big leagues. And he comes up a little bit short, and that's what we're going to read about today. But I want you to be thinking about what is the lesson that we should be learning from what happens to Matt McCarthy. Okay, so I just need you to listen right now. It says, a few days later, on a cool Thursday morning in late March, as Casey and I were walking to the clubhouse, Alex Dworsky grabbed me by the shoulder and stopped me dead in my tracks. I am sorry, he said, before shaking my hand and walking away. Okay, so right now, Matt's on the practice field, and he's leaving the field, and one of his teammates comes up and says, I'm sorry. What do you think that means? Okay, yeah, he's probably not going to be on the team much longer, right? With those 3 words, I knew that my baseball career was over. I walked like a zombie to my locker and found the pink slip taped to a clothes hanger. See Tony Reagan's immediately, it read. Okay, so Tony is his head coach. Do you guys know what a pink slip is? Okay, maybe we can figure out what the context is. I experienced a strange tingling sensation around my lips and in my fingertips as I read and reread those 4 words. I was hyperventilating and had to sit down. A few moments later, Kernan came over. Matt, he said plaintively, I'm sorry. He put his hand on my shoulder, like he had done so many times last year, and looked into my eyes. It's okay, I said, putting my head down. If you want me to make any phone calls for you, Matt, I will. I know a guy with the Giants, and I could probably get you signed right away. Okay, so he gets the opportunity to go play for a different team right here. One of the coaches says, Just because you got cut from our team, the Angels own them, I could get you in with another team. And he says no. Why do you think he says no? Do what? No, it didn't say anything about him being too short. That was on this. Okay. Do you think maybe he knows that he just doesn't have enough stuff to make it to that next level? Okay, maybe he will finally realize, hey, I agree with what they're saying. I'm not that good. Okay, maybe I can't play that next level. Several seconds passed as I considered this offer. It's okay, Kernan, I said, looking back at him. I'm done. You don't have to make any phone calls. Suit yourself, he said, extending his hand. It's been a pleasure. Certainly has, I replied. I gathered up my belongings and put them into a Navy Angels duffel bag and walked down the long corridor to Tony Reagan's office, where I found 8 players in the hallway crying, talking on the phone, or both. Okay, why do you think they're crying? Yeah, they're probably also getting cut. Okay, just like he is. Okay, but is he crying? No, he's not crying. So it seems like he's what? You said confident? Okay, you could say confident. I would say more he's okay with the situation. Okay, he understands the situation, and he probably, could you say he anticipated it? He kind of saw it coming. Maybe he knew he wasn't playing the best. The thought occurred to me that I should call my parents, but I decided to wait until after I'd spoken with Reagan's. As I stood there, I was struck with sadness or melancholy. I wasn't used to seeing guys my age openly weeping. I wondered if I should be crying. I didn't feel like crying. I was trying to think about things rationally, and rationally, I knew that my average fastball and average off-speed pitches just weren't going to get me to the big leagues. McCarthy, a voice said from the doorway. It was Grant, the strength and conditioning coach, waving me into Mr. Reagan's office. He patted me on the back and said, "Sorry, buddy," before closing the door behind me. Tony Reagan was sitting behind his desk with his head in his hands when I walked in. I stood at the door for a moment before taking a seat across from him. 10 seconds passed before he looked up. It felt like an eternity. When he raised his head, I saw that his eyes were bloodshot, and there were tears streaming down his face. Okay, so this is the coach that's crying. The coach is crying. Is Matt crying? No, Matt's not crying. Who should be crying here? Matt should be, right? He clasped his hands together and said, "I'm sorry," before bursting into tears. "It's okay," I said softly. "You have no idea how hard this is," he said as he stared at his desk. "I love all of you guys, every single one of you." Okay, so by him saying that, the coach is crying because he what? Yeah, he's going to miss them. He says, "I love every single one of you guys." So does it seem like a good coach or a bad coach? I'd say good, okay, because he cares about his players. He wants to see them move on to that next level, okay, and to make it, fulfill their dreams. Days like today kill me. They just kill me. To know that I'm ending some kid's dream, a dream that he spent his whole life working for. He trailed off and put his face back in his hands. I cracked my knuckles and crossed my legs. "I was up until 4 a.m. last night," he said, poring over stats, reading and rereading scouting reports, watching video, talking to scouts. I waited for him to continue, but he didn't. "We appreciate all of the work you guys do," I said awkwardly. The tears continued to dribble down his puffy face. I reached into my pocket for a Kleenex, but found only an old ATM receipt. Comforting him somehow made this process easier. He let out a deep breath and produced a file from his desk. It had my name on it. "Matt McCarthy," he said gently. "You're a good pitcher, Matt. You've showed us some good things around here, some real good things. But your velocity is not what it was when we drafted you. I know. And your command isn't where we need it to be. You're walking far too many guys." Tears streamed down his cheeks as he spoke. "I agree. You had a difficult time getting batters out in Provo last year, and that was rookie ball. There were times when," he choked up and took a sip of water. "Mr. Reagan's," I said, okay, so the coach is giving him reasons right now as to why he's going to be cut from the team. Okay, and you're going to see here, Matt's okay with it. He understands why he's getting cut, so he doesn't need the coach to explain. Mr. Reagans, I said as he held the cup to my face, I want to let you know something. I'm going to be fine. I appreciate all that you and the Angels have done for me, but I'm going to be okay. I realize this is a numbers game and that this time I'm the odd man out. He nodded. That's exactly what it is, Matt, a numbers game, and I hate that. I stood up and shook his hand and walked with my belongings out to the parking lot. 2 hours later, I was standing in the security line at the Phoenix airport. The chain of events happened so fast that I really didn't have time to take it all in until I was at the gate about to board my flight to Orlando. It was then that I decided to call the one man I could relate to, the man I knew I could relate to with what I was going through. Coach Stuper, Matt, how in the world are you? I'm okay, or I'm well. I was just thinking of you. I've got the team down here in Florida, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so he just called his old coach from college. Okay, so where he thought he was like really good at, where he played well and made that minor league team. Just beautiful, beautiful weather down here. We've got some big games coming up this week. That's great. And I gotta tell you, we have one heck of a ball club this year. And it was true. Once Brenslow, Stetz, and I left New Haven, the Yale Nine started winning more games. Coach, I gotta tell you something. Talk to me, anything. What is it? I just got my pink slip. The Angels released me today. Okay, so you know what a pink slip is now? What is it? Exactly, he got fired, pretty much. Okay. I waited for a moment, but he said nothing. I don't know what happened, I went on. I pitched a scoreless inning in AAA just the other. Matt, I want you to know something. I figured as a lefty I could hang around for a while. Matt, I'm proud of you. It's just that, I don't know, you can try to prepare yourself for this, but Matt, I know there are a lot of thoughts going through your head right now. Yeah? But I want you to remember one thing. I am proud of you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to stop right there. Why is the coach proud of him? He just got fired from AAA baseball. Why is he fired? Or AA baseball? Minor league baseball. Why is the coach proud of him?
Because he came a long way.
Okay, good. You know, just because he got fired, like, let's call this the Tin Caps. Is it easy to make a Tin Caps roster? No. Okay, because you have to be picked up by the major league team, and then they put you into the minor league teams. Okay, so the coach knows what he's done so far. It wasn't easy. Okay, it wasn't easy at all, and that's something I want you to think about. Is you know, does he have a positive attitude right now, Matt? Yeah, he's very positive. Even though he just got fired, he's very positive. So that's a theme I want you to think about, or that's a key to the theme is how he's so positive. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is go ahead and open up to Canvas and open up to those questions that cover this. Okay, and then you'll copy them into docs and post them to docs.